The 3 to 15 Discovery Optics is here, guys. The link to this will be in my link tree in my bio. It's a different link than the 5 to 25, and the discount code is different. It's RackPack315. So if you want the 10% off this, RackPack315. I'll put everything in the comments as well, but here is the review. Alright guys, we'll do the part one, kind of a semi-unboxing. I really hate unboxing videos, but I'm just going to show you what's in the package. I'm not going to actually unbox it. Of the ED-LHT Gen 2 3 to 15 by 50 first focal plane with illuminated reticle by Discovery Optics. Very similar Christmas tree style reticle as the 5 to 25, if not identical. Comes in very nice packaging again. I really like how Discovery does their closed cell foam. Everything fits in here. Super nice, super tight. Nothing rattles around. It'd be an excellent storage box if you weren't quite ready to run the optic. Just shows a little attention to detail on the packaging as opposed to some of the other manufacturers. In the box, you do get a sunshade. Another leveling kit, just like what comes with a spur mount. And basically what this does, guys, if you're not familiar, and I can make a video showing how this works if you want me to, but this flat piece that you're seeing here, you put on top of your Picatinny rail. It's got a built-in angle to it, and you slide the wedge between that built-in angle and the bottom of the optic. So what it's essentially doing is leveling the optic with the pic rail. In a perfect world, the crosshairs should be level with the optic, therefore your crosshairs will be level. But it's something you definitely should check with a string line or a laser or something similar if you have that ability, or even a scope leveling kit. Owner's manual again, lens cloth, lens pen. Does come with 30mm high rings. These are extremely high again. But I understand why Discovery sends these rings, because they don't know what you're putting it on. And these will get you going on any rifle as long as you have an adjustable comb riser. This is something I didn't show on the 5 to 25. I figured I'd highlight it a little bit. They show these, this one's actually the inspection checklist. And they actually include the serial number of the optic, and then the date that it was passed, and then all of the inspection stamps, as well as some handwritten notes on some of the travel and that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, they have the assembly procedures checklist as well, with the serial number and all that stuff, or at least the model code. So kind of a neat touch that Discovery does to show that they're putting hands on these optics. And then kind of a different eyepiece lens cap. This comes in the box. And then obviously an Allen wrench, probably for the zero stop, which we'll cover here in just a second. As far as the optic, it comes with the flip caps installed, front and rear. And then the throw lever is included in the box too. I've just installed it for the video. I have this in a quick detach mount, just a little easier to do a lot of the testing and stuff with, but that does not come with the optic. Fit and finish, it is very similar, if not identical, to the 5 to 25. Size is the only difference. Size and weight that I can see. It does tout ED Japanese glass again, and these do have a lifetime warranty. They're a lifetime transferable warranty. As far as I know, it's no questions asked. There's no warranty paperwork to fill out that I can find. But I haven't had to use the warranty, so I don't know how smooth the process is to get something warranted. The turrets and all of the knobs and twisties and all that stuff are identical to the 5 to 25. The tactileness and sound of the turrets, very positive. I don't have the zero stop set on this optic yet. The windage turret, very, very similar. The parallax knob is actually a little easier to turn than the 5-25, even though it's a smaller diameter. And it's a little confusing. I might have to actually read the instructions on this, but it has an H and an L, I'm assuming high and low. They make this in a 4-20, and I'm wondering if they use the same knob. Sorry, let me focus. And maybe the 4-20 is 15 and this is 8 yards. But it goes up in, hold on, I've got it actually maxed out. Let me get over here where it's supposed to be so it's not so confusing. Hope you guys can see that. So it goes to 20, then 25, 50, 100, 200, 500, and infinity. So illuminated reticle is identical to the 5-25. It's got 6 different positions with off in between every position. The magnification lever or ring is very smooth again. Very little drag, feeling, or sound. Not too difficult. You can actually, sorry, in the picture, you can actually turn it with your fingers. It's hard to do holding the phone. I need to get some kind of tripod to do these things with. But yeah, fit and finish is just like the 5-25. It's exactly what we've kind of come to expect from that optic. Here I'm going to show you kind of a size comparison. So here's the size difference between the 5-25 and the 3-15. There is a spec card included with this optic, and I seem to have misplaced it. But it has 23 mils of internal adjustment and weighs roughly 28 ounces. This has like 35 or 36 and weighs over 40 ounces. So if that tells you kind of weight and size difference, much more compact and lighter package here. Considerably less travel because this is a 30 millimeter tube as opposed to a 34 millimeter tube. But you can see the size difference. If you're in more of a hunting situation and you don't need 25 power, this might be a really good option for you. Also, the knob, there's considerable difference in knob size. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these screws are the same diameter, if that gives you any indicator. So it's kind of a little bit smaller purchase, which these are huge, which I kind of like, actually. One thing too I liked about this optic, kind of over the 5-25, is the windage turret. To zero it, you have to pull the set screws. There's 4 set screws, pull the turret and put it back. They utilize the same stainless steel screw cap on the windage turret on the 3-15. Very small detail, but I really like that. Other than that, they're very similar. Glass-wise so far, just the little bit I've messed with it, identical glass quality. I'm not seeing any more chromatic aberration or distortion at low to high power. And eyeBox is still a little tight on 15 power, but not as bad really as this on 25. But I'm not putting it on a rifle yet, so I haven't really got to use the support of the rifle stock to make the eyeBox a little easier to get behind. But yeah, I will be doing the full gamut of testing on this. I'm going to run this on the 8.6 blackout as soon as I get an 8.6 blackout load figured out, which I'm going to try to work on this week so I have it ready by this weekend. But we will take this to the range. I will get it on the tripod so you guys can see the clarity at the same cell tower that I did with this one. And we will do the tracking test with the tracking targets from Box to Bench Precision. So I'll be doing all the same stuff with it, and we'll see how it stacks up. So far, I have no reason to believe that it won't stack up just as well as the 5-25. Again, same zero stop as the 5-25. It's a shelf type zero stop, similar to an Athlon. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a great optic for a mid-range cartridge or a hunting rifle that you just don't need this style of PRS scope, but it still includes first focal plane, zero stop, illuminated reticle, all the stuff that, you know, we really come to love in our competition's optics, just in a much smaller package. So if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to hit me up. If there's something you'd like to see that I don't normally cover, feel free to put it in the comments, and I will try to do my best to get a video answering your questions or concerns. I will do the next video as soon as I can. I've got some stuff I need to get accomplished before then, but I wanted to get this out so you guys kind of had an idea. I know there's some people really waiting on initial impressions, and so far initial impressions are great. Really kind of liking the glass in this one. It's very similar. I really have a hard time seeing the difference at the same power and magnification level. So thanks again, guys. All right, guys, we got the Discovery Optics ED-LHT 3 to 15 by 50 with 30mm objective. It's 30 first focal plane reticle, 0 stop, all that fancy stuff. Turrets are identical to the ED-PRS, just smaller form factor. They're smaller in diameter. Still 10 mils per rotation. You get about 23 mils of elevation with this, and the optic weighs about 28 ounces. So it's quite a bit smaller than the ED-PRS. So I'll get you looking through it here in just a second, but I want to let you know the link is in my link tree in my bio to this optic. Make sure you're going to the 3 to 15, not the 5 to 25, unless you want the 5 to 25. The 10% discount code for this optic is RACPAC315. If you want the 5 to 25, the discount code for that is RACPAC. So let's look through it and see what we think. All right, guys, we are doing kind of our optics review, looking at the same cell tower that I used in the ED 5 to 25, the ED-PRS. Again, I need to start this off by saying there is no way for me to accurately represent what this glass actually looks like. It is so much more clear than what I'm showing you here. I have two options. I have a Tacticam fire through scope FTS, and I have a phone scope adapter. The phone scope seems to give me a little better picture. The Tacticam picture is horrible. So this is the phone scope, but you can see I still have a hard time getting a perfect ring, and I'm actually having to zoom in a little bit, or the picture is just super tiny. But you can kind of see here, I got a little shadowing on the right hand side. That is not present in real life. But it gives you a good representation. You can still see the U-bolts, the 3/8 U-bolts and everything holding the structure together. Very little to no chromatic aberration. I always find that white items always show the most chromatic aberration, but different color items can show it too, just different types of chromatic aberration. There is a little bit, very little, when you look through it with the naked eye, and the edge-to-edge clarity seems to be very good. Maybe just a little bit of distortion on 3 power around the outer edge, which is fairly normal on a lot of optics. But once you start to crank the power up, the distortion seems to go away. A little bit of a tight eye box, again on max magnification, not near as tight as the 5 to 25. But the reticle here you can see is kind of a Christmas tree reticle. I've tried to get it in focus as best I can. It's just kind of hard to do, but lighted reticle works. It's still got a little bit of washout on maximum power on highest magnification, but far less than the 5 to 25. So yeah, all in all, just a really nice optic. The glass on this is as clear, if not more clear, I think, than the 5 to 25. But I think where the clarity starts to suffer in the 5 to 25 is simply because it's 25 power. This is only 15. So on a similar magnification level, the 5 to 25 looks great, but it also has a 56mm lens and a 30mm tube, where this, or 34mm tube, where this is 30mm with a 50mm objective. So I just thought I'd give you guys a look through on this. If you guys have any questions, I'll be doing the tracking test as soon as possible, but we're supposed to end up with some really bad weather here coming up in the next few days, so that might have to get pushed off till next week. So stay tuned for that, but this is kind of what we got for clarity, and it's absolutely impressive for an optic under $300.